So we're here on the launch day with our new Hyundai Kona EV Rallycar, and I thought while it's nice and clean still and we haven't put on the gravel too much, it's a good opportunity to show you around the car, give you a bit more information on some of the stats and a few more behind the scenes looks. So if we have a bit of a look around, obviously the first thing is looking under the bonnet, and the first thing you notice, obviously there's a lot less of a motor in here. This is a prime example of how much lower the weight balance is in the car. This is essentially the highest that the main weight gets in the car. You can see there we've got one transmission, one motor. We can run up to 2 motors on each transmission, and then we have almost the exact same again in the rear to give the 4-wheel drive system. You can see with the cooling system, there's a lot of cooling in the car to keep the batteries and inverters cool, along with all the cooling reservoirs, electric power steering, and of course all the geometry. We've got all the pickup points are very high to make way for the long travel suspension that we have, and of course between the geometry and the low centre of gravity, we've got a really nice, well-balanced car. If we make our way around the sides, very generic in behind the wheels with the brakes and the suspension. Obviously it's all been designed and done with our own parameters. But here inside the car we've tried to be a little bit different and a little bit more futuristic. Obviously we're sitting on the left-hand side of the car. We made a decision to make this car left-hand drive. No real reason other than, you know, I quite enjoy left-hand drive, and we had some parts that were more suitable for that build. First thing you probably notice, of course, is the battery. Prototype battery in this model of the car at the moment, T-shaped, so between the seats and behind the seats. And then of course we've got our floating dash with pretty much all our controls on the 2 keypads, our main switches, our fire system, which is all inbuilt into the battery. Which is a system that we've worked with and developed by Stard. And then of course all the buttons, it's almost like doing pre-flight checks, starting the car up, obviously powering up all the LV system, low voltage system, powering up the HV, and then all the power steering switches. And then of course here on the steering wheel we've got a whole lot of dials and things to manage all the torque settings, front to rear, engine modes. There's a whole lot of parameters here. And then we do have pedals, we still have gears, it's 2-speed, so we've got like essentially a high and a low ratio, and of course your neutral and reverse. And as normal, handbrake, 2 pedals, no clutch of course, so very straightforward in that sense. And then some good Kiwi race tech gear to keep us safe while we're in the car. Moving back, so we've got all plastic windows throughout the car, all the aerodynamics. We've tried to work with the Canterbury University to develop a system that has good downforce but also try and limit drag, so obviously there's a bit of compromise trying to make those two marry up. But in the rear, again very simple. We've got another motor and transmission under this hull here, the same as the front. All our fire system for the battery and for the car. And again, the roll cage, there was thousands of hours that went into this roll cage design to make the car sturdy, to make it strong, and to work with the rest of the design. But we're very proud of the car and how it's come up looking. Weighs about 1,400 kilos in this spec, but of course when we get to rally spec and put the bigger battery, it'll weigh a bit more again. But it looks cool. It's got the wow factor that was obviously first and foremost when people look at it. Now working on the sound to make sure it's going to sound cool in the future. But yeah, looking forward to getting on the gravel now and start having some fun.